That's not a law enforcement officer. That's a dictator.
I'm sorry, cops are what?
That's a dictator.
Am I hearing you correctly? Dictators?
Dictator.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought you said. Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to do a brief response to Governor Cuomo's recent remarks that law enforcement agencies or officers who refuse to enforce his COVID-19 restrictions that he has mandated in his state, if they don't enforce them in the exact time, places, and ways he chooses, then they are not cops anymore. They are quote-unquote dictators. That's right. If they find his mandates to be unreasonable or even unconstitutional in any way and refuse to go the distance on those things, then they are out of line and are considered to be dictators by the governor. But here's the thing, cops do take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, not to uphold and defend every single whim and means of achieving a political gain of a man named Cuomo. But don't take my words for it. Here are his words in context, and then I'll be back with my response.
You have a strongly held opinion that says COVID is all an overreaction. It's a hoax. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not following these rules. You have sheriffs upstate who have said, I'm not going to enforce the law. Now, how a law enforcement officer says, I choose not to enforce that law, I believe that law enforcement officer violates his or her constitutional duty. I don't consider them a law enforcement officer because you don't have the right to pick laws that you think you will enforce, and you don't enforce laws that you don't agree with, right? That's not a law enforcement officer. That's a dictator.
Is it just me, or is it possible that Governor Cuomo actually doesn't know what the word dictator means?
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Because here's the reality. A dictator is someone that virtually has total power over a country or a people group. Usually such power is obtained by sheer force, and they tend to act independently of others instead of representing the common good while actually looking out more for themselves than the common good, while saying to the common people that it's for the common good. You know, as I describe that actually sounds more like Governor Cuomo himself than it does cops. You see, because cops would be the tool of force from the dictator. It is very well worth pointing out that Governor Cuomo is doing exactly the same thing he is accusing cops of doing when he's calling them dictators, in that he's essentially saying that if they use discretion as law enforcement officers, they must be in the wrong, that that's a problem. But he is doing that as well by choosing as governor what to focus on as an executive branch, as a piece of the executive branch in his state. So if he's not equally doing that with everything all at once, then now he is becoming what he is criticizing. And without discretion, the law really doesn't make any sense. It really truly would become a one-way conversation with our communities in which it is nothing except our way or the highway, and force is used to apply those principles, those laws. And that's just not the way that society is going to benefit from any type of actual mandates. Governor Cuomo is essentially saying that unless you think and behave exactly as he has deemed necessary in this moment in time, that you are not only a disgrace to your profession, but you as a person, an individual, a citizen who disagrees with this is also worthy of having force exerted upon you for not thinking and behaving exactly as he sees fit as a governor. That should extremely concern you, because that is exactly the fear that people have of law enforcement. He is not doing us any favors. So you guys, as ordinary members of your community should be absolutely thrilled to hear that law enforcement agencies specifically or specific officers are refusing to go this far in the mandates in private homes and in private businesses that are refusing to comply based on what are inconsistent and at times blatantly contradictory restrictions and mandates. You should be thrilled that the officers are not wanting to do that, because it shows that officers are on the same side of the community that they are supposed to be in conversation with and supposed to be serving and protecting. And if we just let one branch of the government or one person in that branch of the government exert all of their opinion and authority on people by force, using the police to do so at all times and all places, what have we become? I am not trying to make an argument that COVID is not real. I am not even trying to make an argument that COVID doesn't come with its dangers as it spreads. That is not the point of this video. The point is that if these observations we are making with our own eyes and our own experiences show that these mandates and restrictions are not doing what they are supposed to be doing according to the people making them, we have the right to question that, maybe slow the roll of enforcement and question what is really going on here. No conspiracy theory, just letting the actual process of how our system was set up to try to actually protect people from the government. Maybe we should pause and remember that. Wrapping my thoughts up here, it just seems to me that we not only have like a right, but almost an obligation to question what it is that's going on right now, because we see Governor Cuomo and other leaders in the more restrictive COVID-19 areas. They really seem to be on this do as I say, not as I do train. Even Governor Cuomo himself has been out of the state and out of mask at the same time and returned back to the state, while mandating anybody else who did the same thing, quarantines for 14 days, doesn't do it himself. So what gives? Are you just abusing your leadership, or is there something about the facts and the science you say that we're supposed to follow that is not squaring up with what you know to be true? So what is going on? I don't think it's bad to go slower to question these things, and instead of restricting people's freedoms, err on the side of freedom. All this combined, this video, these statements, and other ones that I've seen and you've seen too, I just don't trust that kind of leadership. I trust Governor Cuomo's opinion of law enforcement and his ability to lead through this circumstance as much as I trust Casey Anthony to babysit my grandkids. I trust him about as much as I would trust Bill Cosby when he says, "Hey, you want me to make you a drink?" When I hear Governor Cuomo speak on law enforcement issues, I feel like Dick Cheney is asking me to be his hunting partner. It's a hard no. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? If you liked the video, appreciate it. Like it, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Share it up. We'll see you out there.